Hey to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
The Council on LGBTQIA2S+ Minnesotans is conducting a community needs survey. Two-spirit and Native queer voices are sacred and must be heard. Your experiences will guide programs and policies that support our relatives across Minnesota. The survey is confidential and available at mnqt.info/survey. The deadline is May 31st. Honor your story. Help build the future we deserve.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 41, Thursday sunny with a high near 63, and Friday sunny with a high around 66. Experience the comfort of Nightingale, your neighborhood bar and restaurant. Enjoy American classics like the famous Nightingale Burger, Ginger Tamari Chicken Wings, and Duck Pastrami Reuben. Open daily 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with their full menu served until midnight. Takeout also available at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Jega. This portion of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnership with Minnesota Public Radio and Little Moments Count.
Hey, Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focused on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of life.
Yes, for more information, you can visit littlemomentscount.org.
Hey, we have our friend Beth Hedman-Dodds of White Earth Ojibwe and program manager for Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative, a nonprofit of All Nations Rise, and Geri Goodman, also a White Earth Ojibwe and 2025 graduate of the Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative, cohort number 3. Welcome, and it's great to see you guys again. Or great to see you, and great to see you again, Beth.
Wonderful to be here again, Robert. You know how much we love coming and talking to you and Haley and sharing the goodness that's happening in the White Earth Nation.
Right on, right on. Hey, could you talk a little bit and let our listeners know a little bit about yourself before we get going? And we'll start with you, Beth.
Sure. I am a first generation descendant of the White Earth Ojibwe Nation in northwestern Minnesota. I grew up in the Twin Cities and moved full time here in 2020 during COVID to be near my family. I have a background that spans various facets of community service, helping people foster resilience and growth. I am a Reiki practitioner. I am a hands-on healing practitioner. That led me to really wanting to help people know who they are, and found myself always gravitating towards volunteering as a young mom, dragging my kids along, and working in soup kitchens in the Twin Cities area. That led me to becoming a coordinator for Loaves and Fishes, and eventually becoming their volunteer coordinator for a very substantial cohort of 35 individuals that helped man the soup kitchens. That led me to become a director of an urban food shelf. And then my partner had terminal cancer back in and passed away back in 2016. And that led me to really take a look at myself a little bit deeper. And I realized I needed to move north. And so found myself coming back home, I will say, in 2020. And I'm really glad that I made that decision, because it brought me to this position, becoming the program manager of the Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative. And I'm very grateful, very grateful.
Wow, excellent. Geri, Geri Goodwin, do you mind giving us a little background of who you are?
Sure. Baju anin nigani maingan manengan indigenous cause mayangan and dudam gawa babi ganika and dujaba manoman inda. My name is Geri Goodwin. I'm from White Earth Reservation. Both my parents are from White Earth. We moved around quite a bit when I was a little girl, from the cities, Duluth, and back here to the reservation, and spent my school days, most of them up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I came back home in 2016 to take care of my dad, and now he has passed since 2018. I found being back home was what I needed. And I worked in the cities. I worked with MoneyGram International, City Financial, Dayton Hudson Corporation. And coming to the reservation, I started working for Circle of Life, Anishinaabe Home Care. Started out as an advocate. Love advocating for our people on the reservation. And I'm an office branch manager. And being back home and seeing the life on the reservation is kind of heartbreaking. And has just been working with our clients here at Circle of Life has just, I just want to be out there on foot and trying to help people. And that's what brought me to, I used to be the babysitter at IPLI. And then it's a commitment, and a couple of the girls have asked me about coming aboard, and I wasn't ready the second cohort, but the third one I was definitely ready, and I'm glad that I joined the class, the family, and very beneficial. Very, I have a new family, new extended family.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Beth Ann, can you share what the Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative, IPLI, is and how it aims to support our Native families in the White Earth Nation?
Yeah, the Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative is a program by All Nations Rise. We are the sponsoring agency, and it is a free 22-week program that integrates child development, leadership, democracy skills, and Ojibwe culture into a parent curriculum to empower the parent voice. And one of the main components of IPLI is the Individual Community Project, which I'm excited to hear Geri tell you all about it.
We are excited too. I would love to know, Beth Ann, like how many cohorts have you done with IPLI so far?
Sure, we just graduated our third cohort on Sunday, which was very exciting. We had a lovely ceremony at Shooting Star Casino where we honored our new 6 graduates and our very first cohort of the Indigenous Children's Leadership Initiative. We graduated 4 children this year as well. So it was a small cohort, but they are mighty.
I'm taking over for Robert here, it looks like. Moving on here. Why do you, in your experience, Beth Ann, how does engaging young children in reading and singing influence their language skills and cultural pride later in life?
Well, one thing that we are doing in the Children's Initiative is incorporating Indigibox, which Haley, I know you know about Indigibox. I think Robert does too.
We love Indigenous Box.
Yeah, we love Indigibox too. And what Indigibox brings into the Children's Initiative is we are connecting the core teachings of the children's leadership curriculum to culture. So they are getting some hands-on and learning about maple syrup and wild rice and what it means to be a leader in a tribal community. Couple that with some ASL. They learn ASL right alongside the Ojibwe words. The singing and the language is still to come as we continue to build the program. But we're looking forward to this summer to really digging in and creating something more now that we've gotten our feet wet. But these children learn right alongside their parents. They are learning a civics curriculum. They're learning what it's like to be a leader. They're learning to public speak. They're learning what it feels like to stand in front of a room and hold a microphone. We're really proud of what they've done.
Hey, let's talk more about this. Hey, it's Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikowin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
Rudy Luther Toyota has a great way for you to purchase your next vehicle. It's the Toyota Smart Path. You can shop at the dealership or on your couch. Shop smarter by saving time, and remember, they'll have the best prices and no surprises. You can browse the available vehicles, use the Smart Path payment estimator to customize your own payments, apply for financing, and then finalize your purchase. Smart Path is the smartest path to your new vehicle. Check it out online at rudyluthertoyota.com or stop by Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, this is Governor Walz. Thank you for listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is presented in partnership with Minnesota Public Radio and Little Moments Count. For more information, please visit littlemomentscount.org.
Hey, right on. Hey, we're here with Beth Ann Hedman-Dodds and Geri Goodman, and we were just talking a little bit, Beth Ann, about the Indigenous box. Is there anything else? The Indigeni box? I think adults should have those, and those would be cool for everybody. But I always get excited when you talk about it.
Yeah, we know adults need it too. We will be creating family boxes, though, so parents can learn right alongside their children, in addition to this being created for early childhood classrooms. You know, we're not only for our own people, but we want to bridge that gap with those that are not Native and the teachers who are teaching Native children, to have a curriculum that is already established, and all of the materials provided. It helps our teachers and it helps our parents, and they get to learn too.
Yeah, that is awesome. Geri, can you tell us a little bit about the recent graduation ceremony? And this is the third cohort of IPLI, and exciting to hear your take on it. And then we'll talk a little bit about Ruth about it too.
Okay. Well, when I joined the class, it is our first class. Right away, it was very welcoming. Everybody shared their knowledge. It was a safe environment. There were a lot of tears at the beginning of the class. We were learning a lot about ourselves when we were kids, and we had a lot of good conversations that stayed in the room. And again, we had many tears, happy ones, and it was just a safe environment. And like I said earlier, I've got a new family, and I know that we will stay connected through Love Night groups, outside of Love Night groups, you know, during the powwow season and the community. And it was just an awesome experience for me, and I'm glad that I joined, and I hope it continues for many, many years. And we have a lot of cohort graduates on the Right Earth Reservation and other reservations surrounding us.
That's right on. So how, Beth, how is this different, or was it different, this graduation? Talk about that and from your perspective.
You know, standing at the podium, I was host for the day for the graduation ceremonies, and standing at the podium and seeing our cohort 3 graduates, but also seeing cohort 1 and cohort 2 graduates in the audience who are cheering on these new graduates. Listening to cohort 1, we gave them an opportunity to speak, cohort 1 and cohort 2, and listening to the positive changes that they've made within themselves, within their villages, within the reservation as a whole. We have graduates who are going to Washington and speaking before Congress, lending their lived experience, Indigenous voices. In Washington, you know, that's wonderful. I often hear, somebody would have told me I'd be on the National Mall today, I wouldn't have believed them. And they're doing that. We have graduates who are working for the American Public Human Services Administration. We have them sitting on the Head Start Advisory Council. We have them bringing presentations to the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition Conference. We have graduates who are saving lives in the tribal community through their Narcan training. One of our graduates, Judd Brown, was just honored by the tribe and the tribal police for the amount of lives that he has saved. You know, when you look at 27 individuals that have graduated with us so far across the 3 cohorts, the ripple effects are grand. And we believe every tribal community should have a program like the Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative.
That's great. Geri, as a recent graduate, how has the program impacted your own leadership journey? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I think it's made me more confident, more stronger. Like I've been an advocate for a long time. I've been on the reservation, meeting, been in the homes and meeting the clients, and it has given me the drive that I always wanted to do and the opportunity. And with the class, I learned a lot of tools and met a lot of people, and just to go and learn, about what what I want to do with my project, and go to the other classes and around the community, and just to learn more about that and get out there and work hard towards my goal.
That's beautiful. So how is IPLI is now expanding onto other tribal communities through partnerships with the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families? What does this expansion mean for the future of Indigenous parent leadership, Beth?
It's going to create a larger ripple effect across the state of Minnesota. So we are partnering with the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families. We are seeking proposals from qualified tribal nations and American Indian organizations. I believe there is room for 4 of those tribal nations or organizations to become a grantee of the program. That means so much for our state. That means so much for our Native parents across the state. We are so excited to be able to share our journey and to guide them and help them create this in their own community.
Wow, that's beautiful. And how will the new federally or state-funded expansion help reach more families to ensure this program's sustainability? And I guess I'll ask you that, Beth.
So the state this is a 3-year grant, and the state will be starting with a 100% funding. I believe it is up to $75,000 per year. As each year of the grant progresses, that funding becomes less, with the understanding that the tribal nation or organization will make up the cost. So this is really grassroots, boots on the ground, looking for partnerships, ensuring that it can be sustained within the community. But this is where, we talk about it takes a village, right? So this is where a tribal nation or a tribal organization can partner with others to bring it to their community. Each community establishes a civic design team. In the White Earth community, we call it an advisory council. Ours is made up of alumni, but it's designed to bring people in from all walks of life within the community to work together to guide the initiative forward. So you are working with lots of different people to ensure that our children are being taken care of. And, Robert, how do we help the kids?
Mm-hmm.
How do we help the kids? We help the parents through the Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative.
Yeah, that's really awesome. For the families that are interested in participating in future cohorts or community projects, what steps should they take to get involved? And Geri, maybe you can help with that, seeing that you were just in the last cohort. You can kind of tell people how to get involved.
Well, they can get involved on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page, and we do have links. Now, when the class starts up again this fall, we will have a link for them to apply. And we do have available facilitators that we are looking for, if anyone is interested in facilitating our class this fall. We have them open too.
Yeah, specific in the White Earth Nation. And if people want to learn more about the RFP, the request for proposals that are open through the state of Minnesota, they can contact me, Beth at allnationsrise.com. You can also reach me at beth@indigenousvisioning.com, or you can visit the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families website, and that's dcyf.mn.gov.
Wow, that's beautiful. Beth Ann Hedman and Geri Goodman, Dodds, thank you so much for being on. And this is always great seeing you two, and I appreciate you so much and all the work you're doing for our little ones. Pinigigi, thank you so much.
Miigwech, appreciate it.
Miigwech, Gigawabaman.
Yeah, right on. We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio.
Hi, my name is Katrina Simons, and I invite you to join me for Boldly Challenging Ableism. This is a show that exposes ableism and dismantles myths that marginalize people with disabilities. I use my lifelong disability experience and my time working at the University of Minnesota's Institute on Community Integration to try and bring a deeper perspective to issues like employment, housing, justice, education, and culture. I try to bring just enough humor and an approachable style so that you won't feel too overwhelmed. You might even listen to more than one episode. Community inclusion can feel hard to some people. My hope is to make it less hard. Boldly Challenging Ableism is coming soon to AM 950, and you will also be able to find it on YouTube or your favorite podcast app.
This week on Boldly Challenging Ableism, Katrina Simon talks with Jillian Nelson about her work at the Capitol for the Autism Society of Minnesota. Tune in Sunday at 2 p.m. Catch the podcast anytime or watch it on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Boldly Challenging Ableism.
Let's change the narrative together.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Our station is located on a marsh, and we do our best not to disturb that environment. So I was thrilled to discover Natural Lawn. Their safer products and soil tests ensure that your lawn will be healthy, lush, and green. I don't even have to worry about bringing my furry friend to the station, thanks to the great care from Natural Lawn. I highly recommend Natural Lawn to keep your lawn beautiful, healthy, without compromising safety and sustainability. More at naturalawn.com.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, this is Ken Hageland, host of Living Healthy and Aging Well, inviting you to listen to our live call-in talk show airing every Saturday from noon to 1, where we talk about your health and your life and provide insights you need to know to live and age well. Each week, we talk with guests who provide answers to important questions regarding healthcare, elder care, end-of-life care, and self-care for caregivers, and help you and your loved ones plan for the future and enjoy your highest quality of life today. Please join us every Saturday from noon to 1 on AM 950 for Living Healthy and Aging Well.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Hey, it's Freddie Bell, host of New Beginnings, designed for those of us more seasoned, I'll say, with informative talk on everything from health, finance, local and regional news, volunteerism, spirituality, and even a bit of humor tossed in. So if you're proud to be a more seasoned listener, tune in to New Beginnings Sunday afternoons at 1 right here on the Progressive Voice of Minnesota, AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 41, Thursday sunny with a high near 63, and Friday sunny with a high around 66. Don't just mow your lawn, love it. Natural Lawn's organic-based treatments have been creating greener, safer lawns for over 30 years. With expert soil testing and no contracts, you get healthier grass and fewer chemicals. Plus, cleanup is part of every visit. Go barefoot this summer. Start at naturallawn.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We have a couple guests here, and we're going to be talking about the Indian Health Board a little bit here, and the Community Health Supervisor of Hennepin County. And I see Samantha, you are on. Welcome, Samantha Lucas-Pipkorn. Could you please introduce yourself in a good way? Oh,
Hi, hello, good afternoon. I am delighted to be here with you all today. I'm Samantha Lucas-Pipkorn, and I work at the Hennepin County Public Health Department, and I'm excited to be able to share a little bit about the initiative that's supporting women's heart health in Hennepin County.
wow, awesome. And, this is, we've been talking about, Haley and I, the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we just passed Stress Awareness Month. How does all this tie into with heart health, since that's what our topic will be tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Heart health is integral to people's ability to live. Um, and I'm so excited that Indi is able to join us, and Indi will be sharing a bit about heart health and how how um, how she supports women's heart health and at the clinic. And we know that Black, African American, and Indigenous women face higher rates of uncontrolled diabetes and hypertension, and that those conditions can put people at a much higher risk of things like a cardiac event, like a heart attack. So I'm excited to talk to you all about this important, important issue.
Right on. Hey, Indi, welcome. Could you introduce yourself in a good way?
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Indi Prairie Chicken. I'm enrolled in White Earth Band of Ojibwe, and I currently work at the Indian Health Board as the assistant clinical director there. And so I'm excited to be here tonight.
Right on. So are we. Hey, can you tell us how long you've been with the Indian Health Board here in Minneapolis?
Yeah, so I started there back in 2016, so about 9.5 years now. So
That was quick math, Indi. Good one. Oh, wow. Hey, do Native people or men or women suffer more from heart issues than others?
yeah, that's a really great question. So heart health is, with Native communities especially, is an important topic to discuss. Oftentimes, heart disease, which is a condition that is affecting natives, our cardiovascular system, which includes like our hearts and blood vessels, we often experience higher rates. of cardiovascular disease. And so it's definitely something important that we are talking about to raise awareness.
Yeah, really, it is. Women often prioritize their families and communities over themselves, but heart problems can affect them too. And I think we don't talk about that enough. What are the signs and symptoms that women should be on the lookout for when when things are going on with them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, oftentimes, women experience different symptoms than when we think of heart attacks, especially we think of like kind of the Hollywood heart attack where somebody's experiencing, the chest clutching pain. But most oftentimes, women are going to experience symptoms that are a little bit less obvious. And so sometimes that can be like fatigue, where they're feeling extremely tired, nausea, dizziness. It can be shortness of breath. Women can experience pain in their back, jaw, neck. And this isn't an inclusive list, but these are definitely things to keep an eye out for. Even, feeling extreme anxiety or dizziness. And oftentimes these symptoms are uh, can kind of come up in our within our our days, like if we're we're often taking care of others, so we can mistake them for stress. And so I always tell people to trust their bodies, and when in doubt, definitely reach out to your healthcare team.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sam, I'm going to come back to you. Hennepin County started a campaign to build awareness among Indigenous women about health. What is the campaign all about, and how did you come about where we can people can go and get more information about resources and care availability? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Hennepin County Board of Commissioners supported a women's heart health initiative starting in 2024, extending to 2025 to support women's heart health. It includes a media campaign that was created by women. Indi was one of them, who was a part of creating the messaging, and then women were invited to be a part of the media campaign too. And the goal is for women to take care of their health so they can be there for themselves and their family and their communities so they can still be here with us. Um, the other aspects of the campaign also, or excuse me, not the campaign, but of the initiative include um, direct funding to community organizations and clinics so that there can be an increase in screenings and just in general outreach to get people connected to care. We have a website, and that's hennepin.us/heartbeats that um, has information about the campaign, and you'll see those lovely images. You may have also seen those billboards and bus wraps that have ads. It's called Your Heartbeats for Generations. And it's all because the women who were a part of shaping the campaign, they are the ones that came up with it with our someone we worked with, a local design firm called Blackbird Revolt. So it's because of Indy and a handful of other women who helped shape it all.
Wow, that's really exciting. Indy, I have a question for you that I already know the answer, but I'd like to hear you talk a little bit about it. And that's how important where people like Native women see other Native women reaching out and talking about these issues. Talk a little bit about how important it is for us to see each other in these places.
Yeah, and so I think, it's important for, us as like Native women when we're going to seek care within different facilities that you see, people that look like us. And so I think part of the reason
Mhm.
why I enjoy being at the Indian Health Board is to make, our, our community feel comfortable because they see, we have Native nurses there, really proud of that. But also I think it's important that we respect, the culture. And so, kind of finding a balance between Western medicine, which is so helpful and so beneficial, and our culture has like protective factors. And so research studies are starting to be more research studies and literature that say, participating, in culture and kind of being connected to your communities have benefits to our health. And so I like to think of the Indian Health Board as a place where we can offer that, emotional, spiritual, and relational connections to our community.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, how can that be a factor in getting good care?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I think if we, coming to a place where it can understand your traditional beliefs and kind of hold space for those values, that definitely translates into patient care. And so, especially just thinking about the Indian Health Board, we we offer traditional medicines, so if patients come in and they want sage or sweetgrass or cedar, like tobacco, we can give those out to patients. And for me, it feels so powerful that that's something that we can share and participate in our patients who are coming to the Indian Health Board.
Yeah, that is important, and it's very culturally effective too. And I wear my medicine all the time, and totally understand what you're saying, Indy. Samantha, how does this feel to partner with such a and it sounds like other really strong Native women? I'm just so really impressed with Indy, and I'm sure through this process you've had that opportunity too.
Yeah, this is a unique opportunity that we were able to offer to community organizations to join this Women's Heart Health Initiative, and for some clinics or community organizations, they're doing things like walking groups, but then there are also groups that are doing things like traditional activities, traditional gathering, traditional preparations of food. And, those are things that are being funded by the county right now. And that's kind of a unique opportunity that we definitely see and know that there is a connection between cultural activities, cultural traditional foods and medicines, and how that can support people's overall wellness and health. And it's all connected, heart health and social connection, mental health, it all makes a difference in people being able to be healthy and to stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. So let's give that website again. It's hennepin.us/heart-beats uh, for more information. And what will people be able to find on there, Samantha, when they do click on there?
Well, we have opportunities for people to see not only the campaign materials, but also we have places where people can connect to some of the clinical partners. So if somebody is interested in getting connected to care, we've partnered with some federally qualified health centers that can offer really great care at an affordable price for folks. And there's also some like community event kind of things that we also will put in on that website as well.
Awesome. Hey, can you guys stay with us for a couple more questions?
Love to. Thank you.
Uh, All right, excellent. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be right back with Indi Prairie Chicken and Samantha Lucas-Pipkorn, and we're going to talk more women health and what's more important than women health and women health. We'll be right back.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333. 3333.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
No. Good one, Haley. Oh, hey, we are here with Indi Prairie Chicken. She works at the Indian Health Board as assistant clinical director, and we're also here with Samantha Lucas-Pipkorn, community health supervisor with Hennepin County. And this has been a fun conversation. And what, Samantha, I want to start with you. What would you like people in the Native community to know about this that we haven't talked about?
Well, I would say like our partners that we are currently working with that we're funding have many opportunities for community to connect with activities. And if they check out our website, they'll be able to get connected in that way. And yeah.
So I'd like to talk to Indi about this too, and this came up by our great producer Haley, and that's she's curious. Haley, maybe you can ask the question.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were talking a little bit earlier in the last segment just
Yeah.
about how much a diet and changing like your like your foods and maybe incorporating a more native traditional diet could help, prolong your life and keep your heart healthy. I was just wondering maybe Indi, if you want to jump in here, what kind of foods would be best to incorporate, into your diet, starting out small, maybe, that are known to keep your heart healthy?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, definitely incorporating like traditional foods and whole foods into your diet. Things that our ancestors, our grandparents, like us, like, things that we grew up eating, like wild rice, for instance, has lots of nutritional benefits. Fish, which is a nice lean protein, berries. And I especially think of like strawberries. They're often lower on the glycemic index. So, and they also have like antioxidants, but essentially berries and squash. And so it's like these are foods, that are part of our culture. And so if we can incorporate these into our diets, I think it can be helpful. And it's about creating balance. And it's the small things, like you said. So it doesn't have to be, have to totally transform your diet, but it's, kind of incorporating some of our traditional foods, I think can contribute to improved health and well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's I have oatmeal every day. I know that's not our traditional stuff, but I know what you're saying. Just these little things, Indy, that really can change the whole outcome of your health and how you feel. Walking and things like that too, Indy.
Yeah, I think you touched upon a really important topic. Physical activity is a key component, I think, to not only heart health but our overall health, and especially for natives. When I think about heart disease, we're often at greater risk because we're at higher risk for diabetes, obesity puts us at risk, physical inactivity. So if we can incorporate, um, you know, physical activity in our day, even walking 10 minutes after your largest meal of the day has been proven to be beneficial to our overall health. And so it's not always about making these huge changes, but incorporating small things into our daily activities that will help improve our overall well-being. And oatmeal is great. It's a great food. So it's about creating balance too. And so whatever we can do to kind of restore that, I think will help just help us live healthier lives.
Right on. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Yard by yard, it's hard. So yeah, that's great advice. A little bit at a time, and move forward on that in a good way. What great advice, Samantha. Again, it's just must be great working with these young warriors, these women that are really looking out for our community.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's just been a real, just really delighted to be able to get to know people and just to, in a small way, support the great work that they're already doing. So many clinics are doing so many wonderful things to support the health of people. And like there are to just give a little example of a couple of projects. There are two clinics that are currently funded through the Women's Heart Health Initiative, and they have identified food as a way to support people in their wellness. And so they've identified high risk women, meaning, maybe it's a woman who's kind of got high blood pressure, maybe it's not super controlled well, maybe she's got diabetes, maybe that's not super controlled. Through their Food RX program, their Veggie RX programs, they're sending these patients home with food, with bundles of fresh produce, sometimes delivered right to their door, or it can be just that they're picked up at the clinic. But there's just lots of unique projects and like things that clinics and the other community organizations have been able to take on, and it's just been a real pleasure to get to support them and all of this great work that they're doing. Um, they're already doing great work. We're just adding to what's possible, expanding it a bit through this.
Yeah, great, Samantha. Indy, we're gonna be wrapping up here in a second. What can you tell our relatives out there, our women relatives, what they can do, and don't be afraid to come in, and if you're not feeling well, but also preventive visits to the doctor in the clinic.
Yeah, so one of my recommendations are to obviously like come in when you don't feel well. But one of the best times to come in is when you are feeling well. So if I can encourage people to schedule a preventative visit, their annual physicals, those are good times to talk to your provider about any concerns that you have, any questions. So we welcome everybody to schedule their annual physicals and preventative care.
Yeah, that's great, and people need to be reminded, and don't be afraid because a lot of things can be happening, and if you catch it early, it's a good thing, and don't be afraid to go out there. Cool. Well, hey, Samantha, I want to give you the last word here before we this is just great partnership, and we appreciate you coming on and Indi coming on. We're going to give you the last word here.
Okay. Well, I'll just say that Hennepin County is deeply invested in supporting the health of Black and Indigenous women, and we're supporting the expansion of prevention activities and of screenings, supporting additional care coordination to not only ensure that people are living longer, but also healthier lives. And if you see the billboards out around town, you'll know where the origin of those. And we're just delighted to be able to work with community to in this way to support heart health for women.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Hennepin County. Really, seriously, that's a great partnership and great help for all of us in a good way. I really appreciate both you being on, and have a great day, and hope to have you on again too. That this would be a great update.
Love to. Thank you.
Right on. Thank you, Indi. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance. We're still here. We are the seventh generation. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been Native Roots Radio.
The city of Minneapolis